How do you go from what we saw last year on Thanksgiving, just a masterclass of errors, a masterclass of futility, a masterclass of losing, like you said, Tiff, a masterclass of dumb football, to what we saw today, a masterclass of dominating anybody that dares to step on the field with you? Good, better, best.
Never let it rest.
Hey, this ain't my charger. Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yes, that's exactly the
good
next
gets
line.
better?
This is not my charger.
To your good
Oh,
gets
it's too
better.
late. That's what happened when Samsung people ain't got no charger. They throwing stuff in here that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Have mercy.
Did I get it right? To your good gets better,
And what's the last one?
and your better is the best, right? No? I remixed it.
C minus. Okay.
Did I remix
You're
it?
up from an F, so
I gave it a
we're gonna-
C
remix.
minus now. C minus.
I gave it a remix.
Okay.
Just
C
like
minus.
backstage, we were blaming our school districts for our current predicament. This one's on Thornton. This one's on Thornwood, whatever y'all call that.
I didn't go to Thornton. I didn't go to Thornwood.
Village.
Thornton doesn't have anything to do with this.
I didn't-
Thornton
Yeah,
doesn't
but
have anything to do with
y'all
this.
all in this. Y'all
I
all,
didn't go
y'all
to
all in the
Thornton.
same little box out there.
Shout out to the Wildcats. I didn't go to Thornwood.
Shout out to the Wildcats.
Shout out to the
Shout out to the
Wildcats. but
Wildcats.
I was not one.
Stop right
I
there.
did CPS for a while too. I went to Lakeshore and I went to Stockton. My parents
Okay,
got
so
me up out of there.
Okay, so we're gonna blame CPS then. Let's blame CPS then.
No, CPS let me excel, and I got up out
Let's
of there.
do that.
I was in private school. Shout out Luke Lab. That's where I went.
Never heard of it. They have a football team.
You was down there at Beasley with them little bad low end kids. I used to hate when we had field trips with Beasley kids. We would always fight them.
Yeah, my first 2 years of high school, we was fighting Beasley kids. I'm like, man, I'm too old to be fighting sixth
Man,
graders.
Beasley
Those
kids
sixth
is
graders was big as hell.
universally
I
bad.
don't
Like
know
they
why.
would just start stuff for no reason. Like I think they
I would never forget one day we was standing on the corner in front of that Walgreens on 51st and Cottage. We all after school, we all just standing out there, just kicking it, trying to holler at the Kenwood girls. Little Beasley kids just ran up and started just mopping people through the crowd. I'm like, what the? we had them. I'm confused. I'm like, what? We just had to start beating up on little kids at that point. I'm like, I don't know what.
Sure
But
we don't have any fans or any Beasley alumni who watch the show because they're not alive or they're in jail. Oh, they got tablets in jail now, so maybe they are watching from their tablets. I guarantee 70% of Beasley graduates are locked up.
Or they grew up to have kids and sent them to Orville break.
Wow.
All right, let's move.
Too soon.
Let's move on to the start of the
Too
show.
soon. Start the show. Too soon.
Please start the show. If Q saying too soon, you already know. Please start the show. You're full of shit.
This is our third year doing this show. Shout out to us.
Shout out to us.
It comes with a heavy heart that I want to start the show announcing some changes that's going to happen on the show. I thought about it after our last episode. Me and Q previewed the upcoming game against is with a heavy heart that I do have to say that from this day forward, I am no longer listening to Q when we are previewing these games. My boy, I love him, but
I could have told you that a long time ago, and I don't even be on the preview.
Wow. Talk under the bus.
He so convincingly convinced me to not pick the Bears. First time I didn't pick them this season. And
throw a
here we
flag
go.
on the play. Illegal motion. Illegal motion. Because I'm not the only one that picked against the Bears, but I am the only one who said after I picked against the Bears that the Bears do a good job of making us look stupid. So watch them make us look stupid. And that's what they did. And I said that I would love looking stupid. I love it. I love embarrassing myself.
Well, keep betting against us there. You all could go broke and we could keep winning. Keep betting against us. We like that.
No, that's not what happened. We made the argument for both teams, and I didn't think that the Bears are going to be this dominant offensively against the Eagles defense. We called that their offense ain't been looking too good. They haven't scored over 22 in a long time, and the Bears help extend that streak.
The funny thing is, the more we previewed the game, the more it felt like we should have went with the Bears.
Facts.
See,
Facts.
this is why you all need me around to be the voice of reason. But
Reason
here we
why?
are.
That's right, Tiff. Here we are, Bears 9-3, sitting on top of the NFC North after sweeping the NFC East for the 2025 season. How does that feel? How does it feel to have, for 3 weeks in a row, the number one team in the division?
It feels like home. It feels like a return to what this city and this team deserves. We had a great alliance with the Eagles. We were knocking out their foes. They were knocking out our foes. But just like the Hunger Games, the alliance was dead, and now we got to turn on each other. And it's mano y mano, and who's going to be bigger and who's going to be better. And we came out and slit their throats. So sorry to that man, but you served us well throughout the season, but it had to be your turn now, Philly.
I don't even know what it. I don't even remember what it feels like to be over 500. It's been so long. Is it really been the last time we really we locked in a winning season? We really haven't done this since 2018. We really done been through another episode of Trump, COVID, kids, 40 teen takeovers. That's where we're at. That's what we've really been through since the Bears were winning again, a winning team again. This
The Bears did clinch their first winning season since 2018, and we are not done yet. It's going to whip some more feet. But let's talk about this game first, because that win was so euphoric. We are 1-0 on our rebrand from these reviews. No more good, bad, and ugly. We got a lot more losses on that with that format. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Q.
Wait,
The
oh,
good from this game is what?
there was a ton of good from the game. A ton of good from the game. It's hard to pinpoint. I've got about 8 goods I can go through, but I'm gonna give my flowers to specifically Drew Dahlman. That man was a man in the middle of the offensive line. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are two of the best interior linemen. As you saw just 9 months ago, they absolutely stifled the Chiefs. They made it hard for the Chiefs to run the ball. They collapsed the pocket, kept Pat Mahomes uh, off his square. So these are two of the better interior linemen in the league, and Dahlman was handling them. And Jordan Davis is a huge man. Jordan Davis goes about, I think he dropped a little bit of weight, but he's still about 330, 340. That is a big, powerful man. Jalen Carter is a little bit more squat. That's another powerful man. And Drew Dahlman, he was opening up lanes. He was getting to the second level. The running backs did a phenomenal job, but it started up front, though. So my flowers got to go to Drew Dahlman. That is money well spent in the offseason.
Tiff, what was your good?
So I'm excited about this new format because it feels like new vibes. It feels like revigoration. We have so much good to talk about. It's hard to choose. And that's great as a Bears fan, because in the past, it was like looking for the silver lining every week of trying to be like, well, we lost, but this year it's like we won and. So again, I got a ton of things on my list, but I think because we're going to keep talking about the better and the best, I'm going to just start with the mentality of this team. Because, the first drive of the game, we were driving down the field. Everything looked great. We had that fourth down conversion, which was a conversion, but then we had that challenge and they robbed us of that fourth down conversion. And, that can be stunning. That can really change the momentum of a
Demoralizing.
game for
Yeah.
us. I mean, it was demoralizing for us, but just think about how fired up the Eagles were, because the crowd was back in it. I think they had already started booing at that point, but they were back in it. They felt good, but then the defense came out on Philly's first drive and shut them down and got the ball back to our offense. And then on that second drive, what did our offense do? They drove the ball down the field and scored our first touchdown. So just the mentality of this team that we've talked about week after week, no matter what goes wrong in the game, no matter when things are looking a certain way, they don't lose any confidence. They don't lose any doubt that that next play is going to be the play that turns it back in our favor. So just from the beginning of the game, how we had our foot on the gas, even going for it on that fourth down when we could have been safe and kicked the field goal, which, I was kind of like, why didn't we later on? But then that's just the mentality of the team. So think the way that we started that game really set the tone when it definitely could have went the opposite way.
We talk about mentality, right? And we've said it ad nauseum this season that the mentality on this whole team has shifted from having a loser mentality to having a winner's mentality. You had that situation spoke about, maybe not getting that fourth down conversion. Then there was the sack on Caleb.
We missed a couple fourth downs.
There was a couple of fourth down conversions that we didn't convert. They're giving up those touchdowns to the Eagles. Instead of those changing momentum, those are just speed bumps for this team now. They just turn around and just go right back at it. Nothing distracts them from their stated purpose. They continue to drill down and bear down. And I love that for the squad. And that's sort of going into my good. My good is the chess master himself, Ben Johnson. And not just Ben Johnson. I'm going to shout out the whole coaching staff. And we don't do that too much because we see Ben, we see Dennis Allen, they get all the adulation. But it's them other coaches that's grinding tape too. Declan Doyle, Al Harris, Eric Bieniemy. Let's talk about Eric Bieniemy, the running backs coach. He put his foot in the pot this season. Shout out to Thxgiving. The running game has been cold all year, and it was on display for America to see on Black Friday. I hope if you are a shopper, a physical shopper, you like going to stores, shout out to you because, you know, cyber
Shout
shopping
out
is
to you because you back in the 90s. Shout out to you.
cyber shopping's overrated, but I'm hoping everybody was done doing what they had to do and got to watch this game at full because what you saw was, as Tiff said, back in the 90s, you saw a master running game performance. From the opening carry, DeAndre Swift was in they ass. The second play of the game, as me and Q predicted, a screenplay. Right to Cole Kmet. Shout out to Cole Kmet getting the only receiving touchdown from the game for the Bears. And then Cal Monungai started getting into the game. Drill, drill, drill. Ben Johnson called a great game, but I want to, again, shout out Eric Bieniemy because his unit is killing shit.
Yeah.
So let's segue on over to our better. Now it's gonna be it's hard to top that. The running game, Drew Dahlman, the mentality. Those are the linchpins. So how can we top that? What's your better, Tiff?
So my better, I had down the coaching staff, but I'm gonna piggyback off of what you said, and I'm specifically gonna give some flowers to Ben, the whole coaching staff, really. But I think this is a high pressure situation. Ben has been getting a lot of love, but in the past few games, we've kind of felt like the play calling wasn't quite where it needed to be. The run game had been going well, in the first half of the game, and then we would go away from the run and just things that didn't make sense. I think he called a masterful game today, especially in a situation on prime time. You're in Philly, which is a super hostile environment. He had to feel the weight of on his shoulders that everybody's been calling us frauds, and this would be the game to show whether we were real or not. And I think he called one of his better games. And I specifically think on that fourth down play where it looked like we weren't actually going to go for it, where it looked like we were just trying to get them to jump off sides. But then when they had that clock malfunction and they hadn't started the clock, we ended up going for it on fourth down, which was really, really risky. But it ended up being a great throw by Caleb and a great catch by Colston Loveland. And that was just like showing guts and the right play call at the right time to be like, you know what, I'm going to trust my team. They've been going well on the offensive end today. That was a big call when the defense had been playing well. We could have kicked it away and took our chances. But I want to give Ben, not that he needs any more love, but I do want to give him some love because the past few
Give
weeks
him
I've
all
kind
the
of been on
love.
him about his play calling. But I think the play calling, I mean, he definitely outcoached Nick Sirianni up and down the field today, in my opinion. So, shout out to Philly. I know they're going to be calling for his head. They OC head, everybody head after this game. I loved hearing them boo the whole game. That
Man.
was like
But that's
the
usually us.
violin. It was
That is
like
usually
beautiful
us.
music to me. I would like turn it up. They're booing some more, turn it up. So shout out to the whole coaching staff, definitely, but Ben for the way he called this game.
You said it. That's usually us, right? While creating the thumbnail for our preview episode, I'm scrolling Philadelphia Eagles Instagram. Just looking for picks, so I can put it on the thumbnail. And I'm going through the comments. I had no idea they were that fed up with their OC. He finna be throwing batteries through his window.
He probably dang near fired for real after this game.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Somebody gotta be the fall guy. But I
Hey,
hate it for that man.
Yeah, he
hey,
gonna be gone.
hey, more on that later. Q, what's your better?
My better, and I'm sure you guys don't have this, and I don't know if we've ever given this group love this season because they haven't been deserving of love. Everybody's deserving of love, but they have not earned their love this year. But the defensive line, they stopped Philly's running game. Yeah, Philly running game has not been good, but we talked in a preview about this possibly being a get right game for Saquon Barkley. The Eagles would try to go to him early and often, and they did try to get him going. Our defensive line, Grady Jarrett, he's looking as spry as he's looked all year. He's looking active. He's being disruptive. He's really coming along down the stretch. Javon Dexter, silly penalty, but he's been doing a good job collapsing the pocket, getting pressure. Montez Sweat has come alive. I don't recall if they had a sack on Jalen Hurts or not, but
They
they
didn't.
got some pressure. Austin Booker had a very good play at a critical time where he fought off a Dallas Goddard block and dropped Saquon for about a 3-yard loss. So I wanted to say my better was the defensive line because they have been getting better and they have been getting better at the right time. We really need those guys. I saw Chris Williams flushing Jalen Hurts out the pocket. The guys, the main 5 guys that were rotating, they played really good. The guy we just traded for, Tryon Jackson, I saw him get after Jalen Hurts. They got pressures. They may not have sacked him, but they got pressures. They were disruptive. They were physical. They were physical at the point of attack. We know Philly is used to having their way with their offensive line, pushing people around. I know they're missing Lane Johnson, and that is a huge loss. But still, the Bears matched their intensity. No, the defensive line exceeded their intensity. So I'm going to give those guys flowers. They are my better.
I think that's a great point because, all you heard before this game, all you heard in the pregame, this is gonna be Philly's get right game. This is gonna be Philly get Saquon is
Saquon.
gonna get right. All Saquon has to do is bust loose one time. And I'm not saying that's not true. All Saquon does have to do is bust, one time and he could be gone to the races. But they held it down, and Jalen Hurts, same way. Jalen Hurts is a threat. And I mean, he had that one run, but other than that, we kept him under wraps too. And one of the things I loved hearing during the broadcast, they were talking about Grady Jarrett and they were talking about the impact that he's had in the locker room, that veteran presence. And that may not be something that we see in the stats all the time, but that
Yeah,
makes a difference when you're turning around a team to have that
very true.
veteran leadership. To have that person that is kind of, is taking that role and taking the younger players under their wing, and you can just tell how well this defense is playing. No matter, again, we didn't even look like we were down our starting linebackers this game. No matter what's happened with the team, we're bend not break. So I love to hear that the team is gelling, that we have that leadership, and it's starting to show up in the results and in the stats. So shout out to them.
My better is a defense. Now, in the preview I did point out that I think the Bears had an opportunity here to muddy the waters, and I definitely said they was going to cover that 7. They were not getting beat by no touchdown. They had an opportunity to muddy the waters because Lane Johnson not going to be there. I ran down the history. They were 12-21 coming into this game in Lane Johnson's career when he did not play. Lane Johnson's undefeated in his career against the Bears. Lane Johnson, in this era of sports gambling, don't ignore trends. No, Lane Johnson was trending towards Bears. And the defense, the only reason I did not pick the Bears outright was it also was a little reserved on can the defense do exactly what Q said, exceed the level, meet the moment, and get right up with the defending Super Bowl champs. DeMarco Jackson, come back to the front of the room. And another excellent performance in filling gaps and getting right to Saquon at the point of attack. Covering Dallas Goddard out in the open field. Just amazing. Now, the defensive line did their job as well. Shutting down any type of lane. Saquon had nowhere to go, really. And by the time he started getting passes out there in the flats and he was dropping them, he was already mentally checked out of the game because the defense was stumping. Nashawn Wright, we talked about this before. The boy's gonna get paid come springtime. He has put on a clinic this season, stepping up for Jalen Johnson, stepping in for Tyreek Stevenson. It's been ridiculous. And then right when Philadelphia thinks that they about to do something, take the lead, they pull out that patented tush push. Look at Nashawn jumping right in. Whoever would have thought to come in around the backside and just pull the ball away from Jalen Hurts right there? Everybody else is trying to push him back.
Shout
Nashawn,
out to him.
see,
Using that brain.
yeah,
Shout out to
using that
Nashawn.
brain, work smarter, not harder, right? Took the ball. Not only did he get the ball out, but he recovered it too.
He recovered it in a sea of green. He
I didn't
recovered that
even
ball.
see it. All I heard was the announcers say the Bears think they got the ball.
And I'm thinking of last week when they gave it to Pittsburgh. I'm like, they better give it to us. Yep, we got it. And then you
Man,
watch the replay.
I got
He had
excited
it.
when they said that because I saw the Bears all pointing the other way, and I saw the officials not give a sign. So I'm like, somebody fumbled in the bottom of that pile, though. So yeah, they got us last week. What was it? DeAndre Swift fumbled, and even though we couldn't really see it,
Fumble. Even though he was on the ground and
I
you
thought
couldn't
he was on the
see it. But
ground too. But Jalen Hurts got the ball pulled from him legitimately, and that was amazing to me because we defeated the push tush, and the push tush is considered like
it's undefeated to this point.
it's so powerful, it's so overpowered that we're gonna vote on it again to see if the NFL is gonna continue it.
And we may have given the league the key to stop it now. Watch people start trying this from now on. Just trying
Everybody
to
does
rip
not
the
have a
ball away.
Nashawn Wright though.
They
It's
do
true.
not. Touche.
Other than Nashawn Wright, Kevin Byard with another interception. The battle of this game was going to be the Bears' takeaway prowess versus the Eagles, who don't turn the ball over at all. The Bears come away with 2 takeaways. Bears come away with a W. Shout out to the defense once again stepping up and just waving bye to the haters. This whole season is just sponsored by the haters, and the Bears just continue to tell them to cash the check.
Yeah, it was funny. I like Jalen Hurts, but in the pregame they asked him about that. Like, well, Bears at number 1 at takeaways. Woo, how you guys gonna handle that? And he was like, well, we don't give the ball up. So,
And he gave it up
famous
twice.
last words, my guy. Famous last
2
words.
times.
Kanye shrugged because you did. You haven't played the Bears yet either, so he was very confident they weren't gonna turn it over, and he turned it over both times. So you love to
Everybody
see it.
loves to end their Friday night with stripping and picking.
Okay, let's move on.
Stripping and picking.
That's
There go a
that's
show
just not
title. Stripping and picking.
Okay. All right,
Caption
that's
that.
not gonna be the name.
Caption that
That's
page.
not gonna
Stripping
be.
and picking. Caption that
That's not
before
gonna
I
be.
caption that before I trademark it.
You will get no pushback on that one. No worries. There are 0 patent applications on that.
Then stripping and
0.
picking is mine.
You're full of shit. Please tell him again, please. Full of all the shit. He's full of the Thxgiving shit at this point.
Best thing from this game could be a lot of things. As we, once again, shout out to the haters, defeated a team that won the top of their division, and 2, defeated them convincingly. But I ain't gonna put words in y'all mouths. Q, what's the best thing from this Bears' 9th win this season?
One of my favorite Drake songs is Redemption, and that was a good album. So the best thing about this to me was the redemption. 9 months ago, C.J. Garner-Johnson played every snap in the Super Bowl at safety for the Eagles. He was a spark plug for that Eagles team. He had a good year. They didn't re-sign him. They decided to throw him away. They didn't need him. This is the second time C.J. Garner-Johnson played for the Eagles and got to a Super Bowl with them. Second time they got rid of him. Kevin Byard. I believe he was on a division-winning Eagles team too a couple years ago. Another guy. They got rid of him. He actually had a pretty good year for the Eagles. They moved on from him. DeAndre Swift, a Pro Bowl year in 2023. Turned his career around, looked like he found some place to be for the long term. First day of free agency, they go get Saquon, tell DeAndre, get up out of here. You don't have a spot. Seats taken. All 3 of them came back today and showed their ass. I don't know how many yards Swift finished with. 115, 120? think he averages 7 yards per carry.
125, 125.
5. Yes. Uh, Kevin Byard ended up with an interception. CJ continued to make an impact, was disruptive, was all over the field. All three of those Eagles came and showed up today. Former Eagles came and showed up today for our team, and I love that. I love seeing them make a great impact. I love seeing them doing it against their former team as well.
And along the same lines of redemption, I think not particularly this season, but in very near future, if the quarterback in Chicago was not being blamed for every single last thing that was wrong with this team, the offensive line was getting blamed for, and rightfully so, because
Now,
they were not
hey,
great.
do we
But
have any
this
objection to
was
that?
we have zero objections to that. They earned the fire that they got. But this was a redemption game of sorts for the O-line because we've all kind of been clapping it up for them slowly but surely, the real fans who have been watching the game. But nationally, they haven't gotten much love, right? But today, the greatness of the offensive line was on display because say what you will about Philly's offense, nobody can doubt their defense and what their defense has done this year. How destructive Jalen Carter has been throughout his career. Really, it's
Day
still
one.
Bears fans upset that we didn't get him. Rightfully so. He's been a beast on the field, and no one, if you had to put money down before this game, would have thought maybe the O line could hang with him a little bit, but they would have thought the D line would have gotten the better of them. But the O line was out there looking amazing. I love that the whole O line got one of the two game balls from Ben Johnson, after the game, and they deserved it. And they looked so
Who got
they
the
looked
other
like
game
little
ball?
kids.
I missed it.
Nashawn got the other game ball, so Nashawn got one game ball, and then the O line got the second one. And
I
I'm
ain't
sure
mad
he'll
at
give
that.
more out because he mentioned how there were so many players that were worthy of it. But the O line and the precedent that they set these last games for the run game, which is the second part of my good. Q already shouted out Swift, but we got to shout out Monungai as well. He added 130 rushing yards and a touchdown. So between our two running backs, we had 250 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. And both of those scores were crucial. And the way that they were running that ball and controlling the tempo and controlling the time of possession was paramount to us winning this game. I mean, we just were continuing to run the life out of the Eagles, run the life out of the crowd. The crowd to get excited, think they got a chance to come back. Nope, first down again. Nope, first down again. Rushing the ball down the field. So the O-line in combination with the running game, it was just a master class. And these last few weeks, I feel like we're saying the same thing over and over about how amazing the run game looks. And a lot of that is due to the O-line, who again are usually either the scapegoats or the unsung heroes that don't get enough love. So we're going to continue to shower them, and they're hopefully going to continue to play well.
Hey, before you go, do you remember how much in the off-season shows we were talking about Ashton Johnty and if the Bears should take him at 10 or trade up for him? Is it too much of a hot take to suggest that right now Kyle Monungai is having a better season than Ashton Johnty, particularly from the efficiency aspect of running the ball?
Oof, that is a hot take. For one, I was never on the Ashton Johnty train.
No, you
So
weren't.
just
No.
I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna start there. I
But
never wanted the
Monungai is
Bears
doing
to
what we
buy
would have
that.
wanted Johnty to do as a Bear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And for what, a
oddly,
7th round pick?
for a 7th round pick, he's been way more efficient than Johnty. Johnty right now, of course, he has not played yet, has 13 more rushing yards than Monungai. And Monungai really didn't start getting significant touches to week 3, week 4. So he had
Mm-hmm.
He's got 13 more rushing yards, and he's got one less touchdown. Now, granted, he hasn't played yet, but again, like you said, Monungai wasn't starting at the beginning of the season. He wasn't
no,
getting a lot
Johnty's
of
been a
burn.
man from day one. All of the value. He's not
Mm-hmm.
splitting any of the backfield with anybody.
And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? At the end of the day, shout out to Jonty, but what he's doing is not leading to any wins there. It's not all on him, but I'm just saying it's not. So, hey, give me the 7th round pick who's balling out just as hard.
Definitely from the value and efficiency, Monungai has been a much better pick than Johnty. He's given more production. 6 rounds later, and we would have had to trade up for Jonty.
Don't let Poles do that. Let's stick to let
The
him stick
funny
to the
thing
later
is,
rounds. He balls out in the later rounds. Let him, although these last couple years he's done all right.
the
We're
funny thing
coasting. We'll give
is,
him that wrong and Caleb.
I think Pay said, "We not letting Poles trade up for Jonty." One of the show. We taking
Period.
away
Put that
Poles.
on
You
put
you
that on the t-shirt. We're not letting him trade up for nobody.
you see what they did to Trump today in in court? Do we have to? Do we got to veto Poles some of his moves? Do we? Do we got to take it to the
Which
fourth
was the
district court and say no Poles, no more trading up for you?
let's look into that.
That's 4 straight games with a touchdown for Cal Monunga. Uh,
He's also got more 100-yard rushing games than Jonty.
Ashton Jonty, he does have 8 total TDs, but that's not a bad take. I wanna buy that take, Q. I wanna put something on that. Cal Monunga, better rookie season than first running back off the board, Ashton Jonty. Put it on the board. I like it. So my best is going to be butterfly effect, and this is sort of piggybacking off your good, Tiff, when you said mentality. There's a different culture in the room at Hallis Hall. 1 year ago, almost to the day, me and Q were reviewing the Bears Thanksgiving game where they embarrassed themselves on national TV right before anybody sat down and had a dinner. While the food was still getting cooked, the Bears was cooking themselves in Detroit. And then the next day on Black Friday, me and Q hadn't even decided when we was going to do the show. But then news came out, Eberflus fired. Got on the phone, hey Q, we got to go now. We got to go now. Like, all right, let's go. And we reviewed the game, talked about what's next for the team. Little did we know what was next for the team was a complete 180. How do you go from what we saw last year on Thanksgiving, just a masterclass of
Losing.
errors, a masterclass of futility, a masterclass of losing, like you said, Tiff, and a masterclass of dumb football, to what we saw today, a masterclass of dominating anybody that dares to step on the field with you. Call it what you like. You could say the Bears lucked up in some situations. They did. They definitely did. They lucked up in some situations where they didn't have to play the Eagles with Lane Johnson. They had to play the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers. I would say, based on what I saw in those games, the Bears had a shot to beat them no matter who was on the field. When we came into the season, no one said the Bears' schedule was easy. In fact, they said last year's schedule was way easier, and the Bears had 5 wins. Came into this season and said, I don't know how y'all going to do. Y'all may be another 6-win team. Maybe it's slightly better with Ben Johnson. Nah, take that slight shit, stick it up your ass. The Bears are slightly better than your team. The Bears are not doing anything slight. The Bears, you might need to actually start paying attention when we say, you might want to start focusing some of your PTO on what's going to be happening in January, what's going to be happening in February, because don't count this team out. It's just starting. And if you ain't got your ticket on the bandwagon now, you about to be SOL, because we not making no more
No, we
stops
leaving.
until
We leaving.
But that's it.
Nah,
Nobody else getting on
nah,
this
you should
train,
have been on the
buddy.
you should have been on the train 3 weeks ago. We not taking nobody else now.
No, don't stop disbelieving. Guess what? Guess what, all you pod hosts and all you at ESPN, I don't want to hear nothing on Monday where everybody talking about, man, we saw this coming because
Yeah.
on Friday it was, this is gonna be when we find out that the Bears aren't really who they think they are. No,
And
don't
Tiffany
change
is
up now. Don't.
imitating y'all voice. When Tiff brings out the voice, you know it's real. Don't start that believing now. This ain't Journey. I don't want to hear none of that Journey. No, we was here. What was our prediction? In the pre-seat, they're going to exceed our prediction. 10, 11
Oh, they gonna
wins.
exceed, they gonna blow it out the water. I
I think
think
I
I said
had
11.
10. I think I had 10
11
and
or
you had
10.
a 9.
No,
I think no, I think
I had
I think
11
we
then.
No,
I
you
think
had
the
11.
I
I
ain't
boast.
had
have.
10. You
Okay.
Yeah, I
had
was about to say
11.
I
I
didn't
had
have
10.
lower than double digits.
Well, they at 9 now, and they got at least 2 more. So they gonna hit. They smacking 11. They smacking 11 across the forehead.
Yeah,
Easy.
the high was 11, and I think I had 10.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that luck talk no more, bro. They say luck favors the prepared. And guess what? All these other years when we had close games, we wasn't lucky then. but we wasn't prepared. This
That's
year,
a
we're
bar.
prepared for any and everything, and that is why luck is favoring us this season. So get prepared, buddy. Your team, if we have you on the schedule, get prepared to be saying we got lucky after we beat y'all. And that's fine. We'll take it however you give it to us. We'll take the lucky win every time because we know we prepared for it and we going out there and earning it.
You
But
know
what's
what?
that
I like
celebration?
that.
What's the celebration DeAndre Swift and Kyle Nunn got to do after a first down?
Oh, that's the
I thought it
The
was
Kobe clear him out. Yeah, it's
was
like
that
that's how he would call for an ISO. So clear it out for ISO.
gotcha.
So they
Okay.
said basically like I ISO'd your ass and got that first down, bitch. But
That's
shout
all I
out to
gotta say,
Kyle. I
Zay.
don't know if he was trying to when Kyle hit his touchdown. I don't know if he was trying to footwork or what he was doing, but his little river dance looking dance. I said, all right, he trying to
You ain't
put
been
on
in
for
Chicago
Chicago.
long enough for footwork, Kyle. Not yet.
He's trying to put on for Chicago a little bit.
You need
Not quite, buddy. Not quite, but
he
you
ain't got enough
trying.
mild sauce in his veins yet for that.
First of all, for non-Chicago resident Bears, you got to do the little TikTok dances. Give me one of these. You got to give me
He
one of
did
these,
that one too. He
or
ended
you do
up with
one of
that.
these.
Yeah,
That's all you
him
can
and
do.
OZ. That's him and OZ dance. They
That's
did that one
easy.
too, but he
Or you
tried.
eat. You eat. Don't try to footwork. Leave
The
that to the Chicago
please,
residents.
because it ain't had no Chicago. It ain't had no Italian beef or
You
nothing. It was like, sir,
Kyle, you can take me through there, but don't do the
it was a
footwork.
little Jersey-ish. He ain't got that Jersey out of him just yet, but he tried. He tried.
I agree with both of y'all. Train ain't stopping no more. Your time to get on the train has passed. Next stop, Santa Clara. Bear down.
Bear down,
Bear down.
baby.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.